Hello Year 5 and welcome to your last lesson learning about dividing. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to warm your brains up a little bit. So pause the video and have a go at these questions. Okay, so the first one, we do our long multiplication, is 21,704. The perimeter of the square, we know that squares have equal sides, so we know that each side must be 5. Now when it's perimeter, we add them all together. So we know that's going to be 4 lots of 5. That's going to give us 20. Okay, what is 5 to the power of 2? Well, we know when we're multiplying, it's not 5 times 2, but it's 5 multiplied by itself twice. Therefore, 5 times 5 is 25. Now, Max saves £15 and he spends £2.50 on a magazine. How much is left? So you have to do some taking away. So you'd have to do 15.00, take away 2.50. Okay, and your answer will have given you £12.50. Any of you that managed to have a go at looking at the time here on this clock is 4:45. If it is in the afternoon, pushing to the evening, it's going to be 16:45. So well done if you had a go at the time ones as well. Make sure you're only spending 5 minutes on doing these questions. Okay, I don't want you to be sat there for too long trying to have a go at them. Okay, in class we usually have a 5-minute timer. If we get to the 5 minutes and you've not finished, that's fine. Just mark the ones that you've done. So well done if you had a go at some of those today. Same for this one, where you spend a couple of minutes, see if you can have a go at these questions, and be careful to look for notice a pattern or a relationship between the questions because it will help you. So pause the video and spend a couple of minutes on these questions. Okay, well 55 divided by 5 we know is 11. Easy peasy. But here we notice, well, 11 to 1,100, we know that we've multiplied it by 100, which means the number that we're dividing by also needs to be multiplied by 100. So 55 multiplied by 100 is going to give us 5,500. Now here, if we're doing 550 divided by 50, just do the smile method. Well, what's 55 divided by 5? Well, we know that's 11, but we've made both these numbers 10 times bigger, which means it's 100 times bigger altogether. So our answer here gives us 11. Okay? So let's have a go at these questions. So most of the questions today are more problem-solving questions, and I've got rid of all the counters and all the partitioning so that it does not confuse you today. Okay, but what I ask is you pay attention to the questions because each question and their answer is going to support you with the next question that follows. So Eva has 13 straws and she wants to make them into triangles. How many triangles can she make? Pause the video and have a think. How many sides does a triangle have? Good, it has 3. Tri means 3. So I know that I've got to be dividing my 13 straws by 3 because each triangle is going to need 3 straws. My sum is going to be 13 divided by 3. So all I need to do is count them into groups of 3. So I have 1 group of 3, I have 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3, and 4 groups of 3. So I can get a total of 4 full triangles. Now I can't use this additional one here because I need another 2 to make a whole triangle. So altogether I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, remainder 1. Okay? With me so far? Right. Pause the video. I want you to read these 3 statements from Tommy, Dora, and Jack. Think about what you notice with each of the questions because it's going to help us with the answers. So pause the video and have a think. Okay, well, let's start with Tommy then. Okay, so we know that Tommy's got 14. Dora then has an extra one for 15, and then Jack has an additional one for 16. So Tommy has 14 straws. He wants to make them into triangle. We know there's 3 sides to a triangle, so we need 3 groups for each of our triangle. Okay, so we'll do 14 divided by 3. That's my first 3. My second group of 3. Third group of 3. Fourth group of 3. Now I can't make another triangle because I only have 2 left over. So from those 14 straws, I've been able to group 4 triangles together using 3 straws. So altogether I have 4 triangles, but I have an additional 2 left over. Okay, so my answer is 4, remainder 2. Now, for my next one, Dora, she had 15 straws. So I already know that she can make 4 whole straws, okay, out of 3, 6, 9, 12 of them. So I'm going to keep those 12 and those additional 2 for Dora. But what I've done is I've now added an extra one because she started with 15 straws. So I know she thinks she can get the 4 triangles because she's got 3, 6, 9, 12 because that's how many Tommy had. But she's now been given an extra one, so she's now got 3 left over. So how many triangles can she now make? Okay, so we've got 3 straws left over, so we can make them into another triangle. So altogether, Dora now has 5 whole triangles. She doesn't have any left over. Now our next character is going to have 16 straws. So he's also going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lots of 3, but plus an extra one. So we know that Jack's got to have those 5 triangles because Dora had those 5 triangles because she had 15 straws. But he also has 15 straws, but that extra one left over. So how many triangles now can Jack make? Okay, well, he now can't make any additional triangles. So he also, if we divided it, 16 divided by 3, he also has 5 triangles, but he has the extra one left over. So he now has 5 remainder 1. So now you can see how the questions beforehand, with those answers, have helped us understand the next set of questions. Okay, so we've taken the answers from each question and just added one each time to give us our new answers. Now, have a look at these calculations. Okay, which of these calculations could be correct? Now, the trick to this question is you're not allowed to sit there and now work them out. Okay, so have a think about what you know when it comes to remainders. Think about your rule. Pause the video, have a look at the 3 calculations. Which one of those calculations is definitely incorrect? And which one of them could be correct? So think about your divisors and think about the rule with remainders. Pause the video and have a think. Okay, well, we know that the rule with remainders is it cannot be bigger than the divisor. And I know you lot at school know this because you shouted it out with Miss Ashford at the screen for me yesterday. So we know that it can't be bigger than 3. So the first one here is definitely incorrect because we're dividing by 3. So we can't have a remainder 3. The highest remainder we can have is, good, the highest remainder we can have is 2. Okay, so that definitely cannot be correct. We don't even have to work that out. We know it's incorrect because we can't have a remainder of 3. Let's have a look at this one here. We're dividing by 4, but it has a remainder of 2. Now, we haven't worked out the answer, but we know that the remainder could be correct because it's smaller than 4. So I'm going to move that one to that column because it could be correct. Now, this one here, we're dividing by 5, but I have a remainder of 6. Can I have a remainder of 6 when I'm dividing by 5? No. What's the biggest remainder I can have? Good, I can only have a remainder of 4 is my biggest. That one is definitely incorrect. So I haven't had to work out any of those sums. Now, I don't know that this answer is correct, but I know it could be correct because it's got a remainder smaller than my divisor. But if I see a remainder bigger than my divisor, I'm not going to spend my time trying to work them out when I know they're already going to be wrong because their remainders are too big. Okay, well done if you spotted that with those questions. So I have scrapped and got rid of all of the counters because I think the counters have confused you this week. So we're just going to do our simple, short method for division. And this is what we used to call the bus stop method. But we're not allowed to call it the bus stop method, so we call it the short division method. So we're going to look at the sum, 5,291 divided by 4. Now I've included our 4 times tables here because I think it's going to help us with our division. So let's set this up using our bus stop. Okay, so here we have our divisor on the outside, and we have the number that we are going to be dividing in the middle. Okay, so this is the divisor, and this is what we call the dividend. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we work our way from left to right. Okay, so we start with the very first number, and my question is, in my head, how many groups of 4 can I get in 5? So I'm going to look at my times table. I can get 1 group because that gives me 4, but I can't get 2 groups in because that would mean I'd need 8. So I know here it's going to be your 1. 1 times 4 is 4. But I then need to think, well, how do I get from 4 to 5? I have remainder 1. So I'm going to carry that 1 over to my next number. So my new number I've now created here is 12. So now I'm going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to ask myself, well, how many groups of 4s can I get in 12? So look at my times table. I can get 1 group of 4, 2 groups of 4. I can get 3 groups of 4. There's no remainders because it's exactly 12. So my answer is going to be 3. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning. How many groups of 4 can I get into 9? Well, let's check. I can get 1 group of 4, 2 groups of 4. Well, and I can't get 3 groups of 4 because that takes me to 12. So I've got to go back to the first one. So I can get 2 groups because it's 2 times 4, which is 8. So I can get 2 in there. But now I need to think, well, if I did 2 times 4 was 8, I need to get to 9. So how many are left over from 8 to 9? My answer is 1. So I carry that additional 1 across. Go back to the beginning. How many 4s can I get into 11? Well, I can get 4, I can get 8. Well, I can't get 12. So if I've got 4 and 8, I can get in 2. So my answer there is 2. And And I have to think, well, how do I get from 8 to 11? Okay, well, 8 to 11 is 9, 10, 11, so 3. Therefore, I have remainder 3. Okay, hopefully that's a little bit easier for you to understand if you use your times table. So for those of you at school and for those of you at home, if it's easy when you're doing these division questions, write down your times tables. You know your rolling numbers, you know your 4 times tables, okay? You can sing your rolling numbers to yourselves, okay? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. That's how we roll our 420. I'm not going to sing the rest of the song. You know it. You know it. And you know it's the one song that drives me nuts because you do it super, super loud. But sing your rolling numbers, write down your times tables and use them to count your numbers for your division, okay? So that is our answer, 1,322, remainder 3. And I know the answer is correct because I can't have a remainder bigger than 3 because I'm dividing by 4. Right, I want you to now pause the video and I'd like to have a go at doing questions 1 to 3 on your worksheet, please. Okay, Tiny here. So little Tiny Turtle has come back to see us, and he says that 5,627 divided by 5 is 1,126. Now, that is incorrect. Pause the video and have a think. Why is Tiny incorrect, and can you spot the mistake that he's made? Okay, so the 5 times table goes in a pattern of 5, 10, 15, 20. And we know that our numbers either end in a 0 or a 5. Now we're dividing 5,627. 7 is not a multiple of 5. Therefore, my answer must have a remainder. Okay, and this answer here doesn't have one. So if we go back and we work it out and we do our division, so you write down your bus stop method, your short division method, and you write down your 5 times tables, you'll find that the answer is actually 125 remainder 2. Because we know that if we got to 27, we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that's going to give me my 5 on my end, not my 6. But to get from 25 to 27 is remainder 2. Okay, so if you use your short division method in your times tables, it would have given you the correct answer. So poor little Tiny there has made a mistake and he's forgotten to check his remainders. Okay. So here's a problem-solving question for you to have a go at before I let you move on. So there are 349 people at a wedding, and they're all sitting at tables in groups of 8. So how many tables are they going to need? So your sum that you're going to do is going to be 349 divided by 8. So let's do the same thing we did earlier. So how many 8s can I get into 3? Well, I know I can't because 1 times 8 is 8, and that's not big enough. So my first number is going to have to be 0. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry that 3 across, and it's going to make my new number of 34. So now I'm going to think, well, how many 8s are there in 34? Well, let's count them. So I can get 8, 1, 16, 2, 24, 3, 32, 4. Well, I can't get 5 lots of 8 in because that takes me to 40, so I need to go back to 4. So I can get 4 lots of 8 in. But then I need to think, well, 4 lots of 8 was 32. And I was looking for 34. So how do I get from 32 to 34? Well, that gives me a remainder of 2. So I'm going to carry my 2 across. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning. How many 8s can I get into 29? So let's count. We can get 1 lot, 2 lot, 3 lot. Oh, I can't seem to get 4 lots here. So we have to go back to my 3 lots. So I know I can get 24, and that's 3 lots of 8. But then I need to think, well, how do I get from 24 to 29? Well, from 24 to 29, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So that means that I now have a remainder of 5 left over. Now I know that I'm going to need 43 tables. But hang on a second. What am I going to do about those remaining 5 people? Where am I going to put them? Right, so this goes back to the question we looked at the other day with the apples. I can't just leave those people standing. They're also going to need a table, okay? But it's not going to be a full table. Okay, so I'll have 43 whole tables and only 5 people on another table. But I need that additional table because I can't have those 5 people stood up standing. So you need to make sure that you read the questions to check what it's asking you to do. Okay, so what I want you to do now is have a go at doing the rest of that worksheet. And I will send with you some other questions for you to have a go at if you manage to have time in the hour to do your lesson. So please don't spend any longer than an hour on this lesson and just do what you can. Okay? Good luck, Year 5.